All right, now to discuss the possible impact of this conflict, we're now joined via Teams by the South African Association of Ship Operators and Agents, CEO Peter Besnard. Thank you so much, sir, for your time this afternoon. So talk to us about, how these attacks are impacting on South Africa's ports particularly. I mean, there were indications a few weeks ago that some ships were rerouting to South Africa's shores. What do Red Sea assaults mean, for global trade as well in this particular case?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me. Certainly, we've just come off a very congested period in all our ports, and up until the 10th of January, there was something like 364 container ships on this route, and that is increasing daily. So yes, it's. We're not saying they're going to be berthing, but I think a lot of ships have been turned around and rerouted that might not have sufficient bunkers, to continue their journey, bearing in mind that it's adding on another 10 days to the voyage. At this point in time, we are concerned that Algoa Bay, where we have been predominantly bunkering vessels, has been temporarily closed by SARS for various reasons. Vessels that are coming around may not be able to get into their respective ports because of draft limitations and vessel size, etc. So it is a concern, but we are hoping that the SARS investigation will cease and will maybe make an event to try and separate the issues that are of concern, to permit vessels to bunker in Algoa Bay, which I think could be plentiful, because I understand there has been numerous inquiries already as far as that is concerned. And in addition, most vessels will need to take on stores, provisions, etc., for the continuation of their journey.
I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to the issue of the backlog that we've experienced in the country for the most part of last year, the latter part at least. But let's go back to, the situation in Algoa Bay and how it could ease the kind of problems that we are seeing. I mean, are there conversations that you are having with the department as well as SARS in terms of freeing up this port? Because we are seeing what this impact is having on other parts of the world.
Yes, we are. We have been since before Christmas in discussion with SARS in conjunction with DOT and other government agencies to try and free up the bunkering situation in Algoa Bay. At this point in time, we, in particularly in Durban, we're down to our 29 ships this morning. Not all will be coming into port. Some have completed their discharge and now awaiting orders at the anchorage. But daily vessels are coming through, and of course there has, with the build-up, it's yo-yoing. Vessels that are complete Cape Town will come to Durban, so the numbers continue to increase.
In a situation like this, Mr. Besnard, I know you don't want to necessarily get into the conflict conversation, but in the situation where there is conflict, yes, in the Red Sea, but what are your concerns and contingency plans, if any, in terms of it spreading to vast parts of the world, perhaps even affecting us from a military perspective? Are those concerns a possibility?
Yeah, I think it is. You mustn't lose sight of the fact that 90% of global cargo is carried by ships at sea. and products that they carry range from car components to even to Crocs, from one corner of the globe to another. And of course, the route will be pretty well congested as they make their way to Europe and other places.
And just in terms of the backlog that we saw in as far as containers are concerned, I mean, up to about 700 at some point affecting KZN ports, essentially. But what is the current situation and how has this situation exacerbated that problem?
Well, we've had in Cape Town, if I may add, we've had excessive wind for days. That has slowed the operation down. We continue to have equipment breakdowns, but there has been plans, put in place to employ the services of OEMs to assist, and things are, slowly but surely improving. But it's not going to be overnight. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot that has been neglected, and we're now having to deal with that. And we have the right people in place to make the necessary changes that will see a turnaround. Staff on the ground in the respective terminals have done their level best to cope under the circumstances in all ports. But it's not an easy situation when you don't have the tools to do the job.
And just as a final question, as we wrap up, Mr. Besnard, can you just talk about the importance of, shipping routes, particularly given the fact that at the end of that is, the impact on consumers? How important is this?
Well, it is the ships that are normally use the Suez. It is the main routes as far as container carriers are concerned. And with the additional 7 to 10 days, as I referred earlier to the voyage, of course, there's going to be a build-up of goods in terminals all over the world. I'm pretty certain of that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter Besnard, there, South African Association of Ship Operators and Agents in South Africa, of course, just giving us his updates in terms of what is currently happening on our ports.